Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Nancy Virala and I am from Department of English, MK Bhavnagar University. For Virtual Teachers Day 2025, I am choose this topic Gulliver Travel. Let's discuss about it. This is the table of content. Now let's discuss about introduction. Gulliver Travel written by Jonathan Swift. Swift was a famous Irish writer born in 1667, best known for his sharp wit and clever use of satire. He wrote many works criticizing society and political, often in humor. Now his life. He birthed on 13 November 1667 in Dublin, Ireland. Now his family and early life. He born in Anglo-Irish family. Before his birth, his parents are died, so he raised by his relatives. His education, he gets studied by Trinity College, and he died on 19 October 1745, Dublin, Ireland. His career, early career, Swift was a clergyman and in church, and he started writing, and he wrote many templates and essays. Political involvement, he is very active in politics and he support in the Tory party. Now his major works, A Tale of Tub, Gulliver Travels, and Modern Proposal. His later life, he spent his last year of his life in Dublin and write many works, and he died in 1745. Gulliver Travel is a satirical novel that tells the story of the Lemuel Gulliver, an Englishman who travels through strange and imaginary lands. The book is divided into four parts. First is Lilliput, second is Brobdingen, third is Laputa, and fourth is the land of Hymons. Now, these are the characters: Lemuel Gulliver, the Lilliputians, the Brobdingans, the Laputians, Lord Munodi, the Hoynams, the Yahoos, and Gulliver's Hoynam master. So let's dive in novel. Part 1, Lilliput. In the first part of Gulliver Travels, Lemuel Gulliver, a ship surgeon, sets out on a sea voyage. Unfortunately, his ship is wrecked during a storm and he was ashore on an unknown island. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied down by tiny people, the Lilliputians, who are only 6 inches tall. They see Gulliver as a threat, but after he believes peacefully and cooperates, they become to trust him. He is taken to the capital city and housed in a large abandoned temple. The Lilliputians are amazed by his size and strength. They provide him with food, slowly begin to treat him as a honored guest. Gulliver learned about Lilliputians' custom, politics, and conflicts. One of the biggest issues in their society is a long-standing war with their neighboring island, Blufusco, over a ridiculous disagreement with the to break eggs at the big end or the small end. A clear satire on petty political and ridiculous conflict. Gulliver gained favor with the employer by helping the Lilliputians win the war against the Blufusco. He uses his size and strength to capture the enemy fleet without causing bloodshed. He finds a boat that had washed ashore and uses to return to the England. In the part 1, Gulliver not make that type of satire. He only makes satire on politics. Now, let's jump in part 2. Brobdingen. In the second part of Gulliver Travels, Lemuel Gulliver sets out of another sea voyage. During the journey, his ship is blown off course and he is accidentally left behind off the shore of an unknown land. Soon he discovers that he is in Brobdingen, a country inhabited by giants are about 12 times larger than ordinary humans. At first, Gulliver is terrified. He is discovered by a giant farmer who takes him home. The farmer family is fascinated by small size and being treated him like a pet and a novelty. the farmer realized that people will pay money to see Gulliver. So he takes him on tour around the country, exhibition him like a prey. Gulliver suffered during these travels as he often handled rudely, has the no privacy. Eventually, his health began to fail from the constant traveling and exposure. The farmer decided to sell him to the Queen of Brobdingnag, who takes Gulliver into her court. There he is treated with more care and respect, and he get a box for a living. At the royal court, Gulliver has many conversations with the king of Brobdingnag. The king is wise and curious, and he asks Gulliver about the custom, governments, or politics of England. Then Gulliver described England's politics system, military power, and the inventions. However, the king is deeply disturbed by what he hears. He is criticized the England, people of England, power of England, and its. While living in Brobdingnag, Gulliver faced many dangers due to his small size. For example, he is almost killed by falling the apple, attacked by a giant dog, even threatened by a tiny insect. One day, while on a journey near the sea, the eagle accidentally dropped the box of Gulliver into the sea or ocean. Luckily, the box floats and the passing England ship find it. The sailor rescue the Gulliver and Gulliver back to the England. In the second part of this novel, we also found satire on politics, but also we also found satire on humankind. Now let's jump in part 3. It's Laputa. In this part of the book, Gulliver goes on more strange and exciting adventures. He visits different lands, each shows something wrong and silly about how people live, think, and rule. Jonathan Swift uses this place to make fun of science, politics, and human behavior. Now, the Laputa, the floating island. Gulliver finds a flying island called Laputa. The people there are very smart. They love maths, music, and the science, but they are so lost in their thoughts that they can't do simple things like make clothes or take to others properly. They even need servants to hit them with a flapper, a stick, or a stick to remind them to listen or speak. What in this part, what Gulliver says, people who care only about the theories and not about the real life can believe or become useless and even dangerous. Beldy Barbie is an island which is under the Laputa. Gulliver visits the Beldy Barbie and sees that it is a poor and broken. This is because the people there follow crazy science experiments instead of normal farming and work. For the example, scientists try to make sunlight from the cucumbers, turn poop into the food, build houses from the roof of the down. Nothing works and the people suffer. Only one man, Lord Munody, lives like a well because he uses old practical methods but other life on him. Now the third island in Laputa. It's Club the Dream. In this part, next Gulliver goes to an island where magicians can bring back to the dead people for a short time. He talked to famous people like from history, like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and the others. Find out that many great people were actually selfish, greedy, and cruel. Now the fourth island in Laputa. It's Gangang. Langang. Gulliver then visits Langang where he learns about people called Struthringbung who live forever. At first, Gulliver thinks this is a great gift, but he soon finds out that Struthbungs keep getting older forever. They get sick forever, think and become very unhappy. They can't die, but they also can't enjoy life. Now, the fifth island in Laputa, it's Japan. Finally, Gulliver goes to the Japan and he tells he is not a Christian, and the people of Japan give him respect and kindness. Part 4, a voyage to the country of the Hoina. It's the final part. In this part, Gulliver makes the satire on politics, humankind, and many things. Now, the Gulliver is reached the island of the Hainaums, intelligent horses who govern themselves through pure reason, justice, and mutual respect. They live without lies, war, or greed. Here, Gulliver also encountered the Yahoos, British woman-like creatures representing the worst quality of the mankind, selfish lust and violence. Deeply impressed by the Hoyinam's rational society, Gulliver grows ashamed of humanity and start to identify themselves or himself more with the horses than with his own species. Gulliver leaves the returns to England, but he becomes bitter and misanthropic, unable to tolerate humans, including his own family members, whom he now sees as yahoos. The section is swift, hardest satire, exposing human pride, corruption, and the moral weakness. Despite their kindness, the yahoos become uneasy about Gulliver's presence. They fear that he could spread bad habits or bring the corruption of the Yahoos into their society. In the end, they decide that Gulliver must leave their land. He is given a horse to accompany him to the coast, where he is sent back home on a ship. Now he is back in England. Gulliver finds himself unable to live comfortably among humans. He is disguised by their greed, violence, and the gentle behavior. He avoids talking to his family and friends and becomes obsessed with horse. In this part, he makes satire on womankind, politics, and many things. He admires the horses and animals. He is obsessed with horses now. Now, the style or motive of this novel. These are the style of this novel. Motives, size and scale, travel and exploration, reason versus emotion, utopian and dystopians, corruption and decay, human versus animal. Now, the themes of this novel: human folly and pride, satire of politics, science and reason versus practicality, corruption of history, nature of humanity, limits of knowledge and progress, alienation and disillusionment. In this novel by Jonathan, he compared the woman and the animal, especially with the horse. He mainly satire on womankind, politics, wars, and AIDS. The main idea of this novel is being a human being, not an animal. These are the reference. Thank you for watching these videos. Like and subscribe my YouTube channel.